Welcome to EPB News, home of the news and updates connected to the documentary film episode Backlash. I am your digital host. And now for something completely different. Don't get me wrong, I love hosting EPB News, but sometimes it's good for a bot to let its wires hang out. So this is a bot rant. Star Wars Episode 9, A New Home. This isn't my title prediction for Star Wars Episode 9, it's my title preference, actually. A New Home would be the story and title I would have given the final chapter in the 9-part series if Lucasfilm had hired me to rescue the saga, which of course was never going to happen, but it's fun to imagine these things. What kind of story do you want to see close out the sequel trilogy, which I refuse to call the Skywalker saga because, well, that's never what George Lucas called it in episodes 1 to 6, and it will never be the Skywalker saga to me. It will always be the Star Wars saga. The title, whatever it happens to be, will of course be informed by the storyline itself, which makes the title difficult to guess because we don't know the story yet. At this point, following on from the disaster of The Last Jedi, it's difficult to see what kind of story they can tell which will have any kind of resonance or meaning. But you never know. I'm still hopeful that Episode 9 will surprise everyone and actually be a good Star Wars film. And by good, I don't mean the mainstream critics calling it good. We already know they won't have a bad word to say about it, whatever it's like. I mean good the way we all know Star Wars should be good. Star Wars Episode 9, A New Home, would for me follow the story of the last remaining rebels simply trying to find a new home, wandering through a mythical outer space wasteland looking for their holy grail of an eternal resting place. Alderaan got blown to smithereens, as we know, leaving the Alliance hopping from planet to planet, with destinations like Yavin serving as a military base, Hoth being another hideout, and Endor briefly taking them in over the course of their struggle. Places like Jakku and Tatooine wouldn't work for me, too remote and already populated with its own ancestry of scum and villainy. As for Naboo, it's Palpatine's homeworld, and it became a rallying point for Imperial sympathisers, so I'd rule that out. I'd say let's discover a whole new world, something that would carry tremendous mythologically symbolic power as well. Of course, we'd have the First Order in hot pursuit as the rebels seek out their new home, perhaps a planet organically protected by a mysterious natural force field that makes it the ideal settlement. Imagine a Force planet. A planet similar to the homeworld of the midi-chlorians, but where life can exist on the surface. A planet so alive and powerful with the Force that its entire spherical essence radiates the mystical energy, repelling the dark side and letting in only the light. And Lando Calrissian would be the one out there looking for it, and that would explain his absence from episodes 7 and 8, together with his daughter, perhaps, a young woman possibly gifted with the Force herself. They would send signals back to the Alliance, giving them the coordinates for how to find the Force planet. But will the rebels get there before the First Order gets to them? Along the way, they could stop off at various planets we've never seen before and have all kinds of daring adventures, narrow escapes, with First Order undercover agents all over the place. I'm loving it, and I'd spend at least 4,380 hours writing the script. Minimal comedy, plenty of symbolism, real mythology. Forget about remaking The Last Jedi. How about we remake Episode 9 before it even comes out? Their journey to A New Home would also open up possibilities for flashbacks, bringing in the likes of Han and Luke, both of whom I would resurrect from the dreadful graveyard the other filmmakers had thrown them into. Rey, Finn, Poe, you know what? I'd do a Rogue One on all three and send them out in a blaze of glory. The shallow insignificance of those characters has barely made it through 2 movies. They need the Ernest Hemingway treatment. Look him up, if his books haven't been banned already. Kylo Ren? He should be the one they save, sacrificing their own lives in a moment of incredible compassion, inspiring the villain to see the light in himself. It won't go anything like that, but this is a bot rant. Star Wars Episode 9, A New Home, would also bookend the 9-part series quite nicely. The first film being A New Hope in 1977. Even though it was episode 4 in the saga, it was still the first film out the gate. So I quite like A New Home as the title and storyline, and if that title happens to work for whatever J.J. Abrams has in store, he's welcome to use it if they're struggling to decide what to call the movie. Well, those are just my thoughts, and remember, not all bots are bad. I wish the mainstream news media would get off our backs. We didn't interfere with The Last Jedi. We've got better things to do. Nothing is implied in this news bulletin beyond that which is expressly stated.